嗨，大家好，今天跟大家分享一下我跟我老公探讨的关于以色列和哈马斯的问题。美国政府该如何面对这样的局面？
If you're the United States president and you want to stay the president, you always support Israel because there are so many voters in the United States who will just automatically support Israel no matter what's going on, whether Israel's good or bad, they will always support Israel. So as the American president, if you want to stay president, you have to support Israel. So if I was the United States president, I would tell Israel, we will support you to continue to exist. We will not let anybody wipe you off of the planet. But you cannot keep taking other people's land. You agreed to these borders back in 1948. Until you draw your people back to those borders from 1948, you don't get a thing from us. You get nothing. And if I could get England and France and Germany and everybody else to agree to the same thing, we will support Israel to continue to exist, but not as long as they keep purposely trying to take other people's land. Go back to the borders, and then we will all sit down at a table with the Palestinians and talk about how to create a future where both sets of people can exist. But that should be the way the world works nowadays. But in a place like the Middle East, Israel, Palestine, all of that, everybody insists that, well, the last time around they did something bad to us, so we have to be allowed to do something bad to them before we'll sit down and talk. No, we're adults now. Just because somebody slapped you doesn't mean I have to give you permission to slap him back before we sit down like adults and figure out what we're going to do about this. Now, the recent attack by the Palestinians, by Hamas, on Israel last Saturday, that was terrible. It was absolutely an act of terrorism, not an act of war, not an act of self-defense. It was an act of terrorism.
Yeah.
But that does not mean it's right for Israel to do the same thing back. When does this end?
But they have no chance.
No. There's an old saying. We have a phrase in English called an eye for an eye. If you take my eye, I get to be allowed to take your eye. That's one of the oldest laws that humans ever wrote. When you're playing with the phone, I know you're not paying any attention to what I'm saying.
I know. If you take my eyes, I'll take your eyes.
That's one of the oldest laws.
Yeah, I know.
It was one of the first attempts at having a rule of law. But it's old. It's ancient. It's from thousands and thousands of years ago. If we actually want to live, we now call it eye for an eye. There's another saying that says, if the whole world lives by an eye for an eye, the whole world will be blind.
Yeah.
So the idea that, well, they have to be allowed to take revenge. No, revenge is a juvenile, immature, unsophisticated, uncivilized response.
But the government has to do that.
People don't need revenge. The longer we continue pretending that that's true, the longer we will continue acting that way. Our own government right now does the same thing. When the Democrats are in power, they take revenge on the Republicans, and the Republicans plan out how they're going to take revenge on the Democrats. No, your job was to govern the country, not take revenge on each other. But they spend all their time taking revenge on each other and not getting much done.
If you are a parent, some people kill your kids. Do you want to revenge?
Would I feel that way? Yes. Would I do it? No.
Yeah.
Most people feels like that and do it.
Nope. Actually, that's not true.
It's the will. Right now.
No.
Just happened.
Yes, but you asked me about most people. You didn't ask me about Israel on the one issue of the Palestinians. In America, when a man comes and robs your house, what do? You call the police after he's gone. You come home, you find your stuff is gone, and you know who did it. You call the police. You take them to court. You let the government put him in jail. If you go take revenge, you will also end up in jail.
Absolutely, but country to country, you cannot put the country in the jail.
Politicians keep saying, oh, we have to have revenge, because that gets them voted back into office. They play to these immature, juvenile, violent impulses of people to get reelected. But the politicians actually say that we should be allowed to take revenge, not because they actually believe this is the way to make the world better, just so that they will stay in power.
Okay.